So I picked this problem number 16 out of your review packet. It says simplify the expression using the properties of radicals. So we have a pretty big expression under this radical sign here, and this expression is also in the form of a fraction. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I simplify everything that I possibly can while it's underneath the radical. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. 12 and 27, I'm not really going to worry about that one right now. Well, I guess I could if I divide 12 and 27 both by 3. Well, let's see, 12 divided by 3 is 4, and 27 divided by 3 is 9. So I have reduced that fraction. And x to the 6 over x to the 7th leaves me with 1x in the basement. And y to the 7th over y cubed leaves me with a y to the 4th in the top here. So next thing I'm going to do is notice that I'm working with a square root. So I want to take out things that are perfect squares. Well, it looks like our fraction, once it was simplified, is actually a perfect square now. So we can kind of, our number part, they're both perfect squares. So we can kind of look at that and say, okay, I know the square root of 4 equals 2, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the 2 outside of the radical. I know the square root of 9 is 3, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the 3 outside of the radical. And now what I'm left with is y to the 4 over x. It looks to me like I still have a perfect square in there, and that's because y to the 4 over x, this whole expression, is the same thing as we can see that's the same thing because I have the same base. So in my rules of exponents, I would add the exponents. So 2 plus 2 gives me 4. And so I have y squared times y squared here. And so I know that both of those are a perfect square, obviously. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those out. When I pull out one y squared, let me just keep writing this 2/3. When I pull out one of the y squareds, I'm left with y. When I pull out the next y squared, I am left with y again. So that just becomes, and that's over the square root of x. So that then becomes 2/3 y squared all over the square root of x. Now we don't want any radicals in the denominator, so we're going to go ahead and rationalize this. I'm going to multiply the top and bottom by the square root of x. And I'm going to have 2/3 y squared square root of x over square root of x times square root of x is x. And that would then be my answer.